Aloha! Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis, my co-host Nick Luisi here today. Welcome, everybody. We have an awesome show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about the tech tools you need in 2024 to run your agency. We're going to take your questions. We're just going to have a good time. Look, I'm going to cue up the intro. We'll see you back here in one momento.
It's time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to grow and scale your business from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, we've returned for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. And now, here are your hosts.
Yeah, they are fired
Is it always that loud, or is it just because I'm on this year?
It's just because you're on.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. It's just because I'm here.
Yeah,
Wow.
normally it's like crickets.
It's. I don't believe that for a second.
No, they're just excited because, this weekend is a turning point in the year, Nick.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but starting this weekend, every week after this weekend, all the way through September, there is a college or an NFL football game. Finally, football is back.
The SEC, I saw that. The updates, they're looking at, they extended the college playoffs. So it is crazy. Have you gone to a game in Vegas or two?
Yeah, I mean, over the past couple of seasons. So last year we actually drove up to BYU.
Okay.
BYU was in the Big 12 last year. And so Oklahoma, the Sooners, which is the team I follow, they played BYU in Provo, which is only about 4.5 hours away. So we drove up and stayed the night and went to the game. Craziest thing, nicest football fans I have ever met in my life. Like, they lost the game. It was a great game. It was more competitive than we expected. Oklahoma won, but when we were leaving, the people there were like, "Thanks for coming. Come back again." Like, I'm like, what football fans tell you thanks for coming? Like,
definitely not New York fans, or probably not Chicago fans. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, were you all geared up? All Oklahoma up?
Yeah, we were all geared up.
Red and white. Good.
Yeah.
And you brought the girls?
Sophie came. Paige didn't want to go, but Sophie came. So it was a lot of fun. But that's what we did last year. This year, Oklahoma is in the SEC with Texas. It's our first year in the SEC. We have a brutal schedule. Brutal. But we'll see how that goes. I'm actually going on September 1st. So this is what they call like week 0. There's not like a lot of big teams that play tomorrow. I think Florida State and Georgia Tech is like the big game.
It is big.
And then, but next weekend is like the official kickoff. So next Sunday, they do like ABC does a college football kickoff game every year, and they're having it in Vegas this year.
Oh, how fun!
So Sunday night it's USC versus LSU.
Oh, wow! So
I have a buddy here who's a USC fan, so Miranda and I are going with him and his wife.
Yeah,
so we're gonna go watch that, and then it should be fun.
Have you ever been on a campus? I've been on a campus twice where it was the SEC show, right? The football.
Oh yeah, college game day.
Yeah, college game day.
Yeah.
What a treat that is to be there when it's going on. It's one of my favorite things to watch on television is kind of get ready for the game. By Sunday, I'm a little tired of football, right? It's because I'm all maxed out on the you got the Thursday night college game, you got the Thursday night football, and so you can watch it all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm excited it's back. It's interesting when I lived in Hawaii, one of the things Miranda and I did was we flew to Texas and we went and watched OU Texas.
Okay.
And college game day was there and Fox game day was there, and it's in the middle of the Texas Fair. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, so we've got football season is underway. Volleyball season is underway. My youngest daughter just had her first high school volleyball game yesterday, and she didn't play. This is her first year on the team. She didn't play, but it was like such an exciting game. They got clobbered the first set, and then they battled their way back. Like they won the next 2 sets, but like in volleyball they have to win by 2.
Sure. Right.
So like it would be tied, and then the other team would take the lead, and then they'd tie it again, and then they'd take the lead, and then the other team would like the last 2 sets were that way, but they won, so they're 1-0 for the year. They got a tournament that starts tomorrow. So congratulations to Sophie and her team for doing that.
Well, that's wonderful. Congrats. And then was she glued to the Olympics and watching the beach volleyball and the indoor volleyball? She didn't
watch too much of the volleyball.
No.
Like she likes to watch some of the college stuff on TV and things like that, but she didn't watch too much during the Olympics.
I think it was Nebraska played last year, and they had the largest attendance for a female volleyball game, and they played it outdoors in the stadium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was huge. I mean, they had like 80,000 plus people for it. So it's really it's a phenomenal sport for, I know my nephew plays it on his high school boys team, but yeah, it's really growing in popularity.
Yeah. It's crazy now that my daughter plays, like how much I can get into the game.
Sure.
Like I
knew they had to win by 2, so you're further,
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, look, enough of the little chit chat. We're excited you're here. We're glad to have you guys here. Let's talk some business stuff. So maybe let's start off with some shark shout outs for the week, and then we'll go into our tech tools. We'll talk a little bit about that. I got some ones I want to share. I'm sure you have some of your favorites as well.
Sure.
We'll talk a little bit about the training we did a webinar on Wednesday with Jason Bell. How many people here were on the webinar with Jason Bell? Because, Jason really went over an AI software system.
I saw that, yeah.
That he has for delivering AI digital coupons and doing follow-up. And it was really, really impressive, a complete system. So it was awesome stuff there. We'll talk about that. Amy says she was there. Awesome. Welcome.
I see Jason played volleyball.
Yeah, I see somebody said they play volleyball.
Yeah.
I never played football. I was never a sports guy in high school. So
did you do Magic? Were you, or you're a poker player? Were you running a craps game in the men's room in a poker game?
No, I was not. I did Magic back then. So I got started doing Magic when I was 12. So that's kind of my thing. So I was doing that a lot back then.
Well, I unfortunately played football, and I got 2 knees to prove it. And I think I got every now and then I kind of shake off a hit that happened when I was playing end. So it's like when I can't remember stuff, I blame that. But yeah. I think you'll be able to walk further into your twilight years than I will because of that. So that's all right. So
awesome. Well, Jacqueline, don't worry, you miss it. We got a replay up. You guys can catch that. Jason, I didn't DJ.
So. Oh, you didn't? No, I did. A DJ. I see that. Yeah.
Never did DJ.
Yep.
All right. So let's do some shark shout outs. I'm going to pull up my screen here. Check this out. We got some great wins this week. First up, we've got Philip Sundel. Look at that. Philip we're just talking about college football. He's wearing an Alabama.
I see that. He's all geared it up for that. That's excellent.
Philip recently got his first premium listing for his influencer site, a $49 deal. That is awesome stuff, Philip. Hey, Philip, if you're watching this, you got to message me because we play. Alabama and Oklahoma play this year. We can have some good fun back and forth while the game is going on. So reach out to me. But congratulations on the win. That's awesome. And Philip is a member of our 100K Club monthly program. So great stuff, Philip. Great stuff. Next up, we've got Taylor Stillman. He concluded his latest AGM-focused event. So for those of you that don't know, Taylor has taken the influencer site, the directory site model, and fused it with live events in his area and his niche. So he just wrapped up his latest live event. He had 12 paid sponsors.
Wow.
So 12 businesses paid him to sponsor the event. It was a free venue. He got the venue for free. He sold 100 tickets at $20 to $25 a pop. He signed 3 new members for premium listings at $420 each year. And he got tons of people to sign up for his networking event mailers.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And he's in the cannabis niche, correct?
Is what gave it away? Was it the $420 price tag for the premium membership? Because I just got that. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so Taylor is in the cannabis niche, and he has a site built around cannabis businesses and that stuff in his area. And man, he's just been crushing it with that since he rolled it out. Like
he doesn't go national; it's just localized.
Yeah, he's just a very local, small area, and he gets the people together so that they can all talk about what's going on in the cannabis industry, like the events, the networking stuff, and does some, it's really awesome. Now they're even branching out. So originally he was doing, very straight business events where people come. He would do some talks. He would have things like that, a lot of networking, and then now they're doing some things where they're doing like this last event he had. That was like he had some comedians and there was a theme to it and stuff like that. And Dorn said he's doing it across 5 states.
Okay.
So yeah. So
that's
regional. Excellent. That would be, I would consider that a regional.
Yeah.
A regional business, right? A regional business. So awesome work, Taylor. And I'm actually talking to Taylor about putting together a training on how he's doing all this and sharing how he's doing all this stuff. So
I think that's very smart.
Let me know.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got EG Buzz. She picked up a new recurring from a client whom she provided a one-time up-leveling to their small website, $350 a month. She did a $350 YouTube SEO boost for a client last month who now asked to expand to Instagram. So the client is now $500 a month.
That's awesome.
Woo-hoo. Awesome stuff, EG. Moving up. I love that.
And she's in the 100K club also. That's great. Yes, and look at that. Look at that smile. That's $1 million smile too. That's phenomenal. Yeah.
So also too, you may not know this, but EG has a podcast and she does some other stuff as well. So she got a lot of stuff going on. Really great stuff. Next up, we've got Chris Byrne. He hit the clockwork client prospecting method for 12 days and now has a result. So that was from consuming the course to set up to sale. So he picked up clockwork clients, and 12 days later, he closed a client from the second discovery call at $499 a month to help the owner with their SaaS.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. Way to take action, Chris. That's great, right? And, I always say this about Chris. Chris has a full-time job as a consultant, and he runs his agency on the side. So what he was talking about how great Clockwork Clients was for that, because it's really passive prospecting, right? You just now that he has this thing set up, it can just run in the background and book his calendar. So awesome stuff, Chris. Awesome results. Next up, Mr. Richie Cronin. He got a gym client accepting proposal to take over all marketing activities, $4,500 a month. This client is now paying him $6,000 a month plus ad spend. He sold a citations package to a hair salon in New Zealand, $557 US. He sold a NFP charity website, Florida. Website refresh, $1,500. Ongoing SaaS, $300 a month. He also set up Clockwork Clients for Y'all Digital USA, and they have adverts running for their AI chatbots. Awesome stuff.
Pretty impressive.
Super impressive. Good stuff, Richie. That is a total of $12,665 for the week of August 17th through the 23rd. That is a grand total that you in our community have collected of $791,408 since the start of 2024. So awesome stuff. Congratulations, everybody. If you're not sharing your wins in the group, make sure you do that. Put them in the Facebook group, share them. Awesome work to everybody that shared this week. So great stuff.
That's we got two quarters left. That's just the front end of the year. That's very impressive.
We're just scratching the surface.
And one was summer, right? So it's did you see the other thing? I think the Inc. 5000 list came out. Did you see the number of marketing firms that are on there? And there's just a continued need to growing every day for more and more marketing help and marketing agencies. So what a phenomenal space to be in.
Yeah, there's a ton of opportunity out there, right? I know Mida Marketing, we just got named as one of the fastest growing companies in Hawaii.
I saw that.
Yeah. So there's like, there is a lot of opportunity out there right now. So really, really great stuff. All right, let's talk about some tech tools. What was our title? Tech tools you need to thrive in 2024 and beyond.
Okay.
So first up, I have a tech tool that often gets overlooked when we talk about tools and things with all the amazing software and stuff like that. But I would be remiss if I did not share this piece of equipment with all of you out there, because Nick and I have used this particular piece of tech quite extensively, especially when we first got started. And that is the pen and the yellow pad.
Oh my gosh.
Not even a cell phone, Dorn. Not even a cell phone.
That is old school. That is old school.
And the yellow pad.
Yep.
So many, many nights, I would write on this yellow pad all the things we needed to do the next day, give them a little importance, map out the day, cross it off, and just do that over and over. Nick has done the same thing for a really long time. So we are going to talk about some tech tools. We're going to talk about some software tools that you can use in your business. And I bring this out just to remind everybody that while all of that stuff is great, it really is just a means to an end. And action always trumps the tools. Action always trumps the tools. So if this is all you have and you're taking action, you can do great, right?
That's all you need.
Help you, but if you're not taking action, all the tools in the world won't help you. So a little nice reminder before we dig into all this. But
I got one that's similar.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Was that a voice recorder?
It's a voice recorder. Driving around, going from when I had my agency, going from client to client meeting, I'd see all these businesses that were phenomenal prospects for me, right? And so I would just record everything that I would possibly have. The other thing I would do with this is I would record at the time sales calls, right? And it was one-sided. So I was just hearing what I was saying, and I would listen to that as I was driving. If I was old school, I'd show you the cassette recorder that I'd use, and I'd pop that in and drive around and listen to my sales calls. But, I think a pen and paper and this, and you're off to the races, right? You get maybe some, and you're just ready to run. And sometimes it's the simple things, right? We started talking about football, and it's the blocking, right? They had camp. Fundamentals. Gentlemen, this is a football, right? And it's doing the fundamentals over and over and over again and just executing them, and realizing that sometimes it's the basic stuff. Sure, they got the tech on the sidelines and they're talking to the quarterback and they got the iPads and they're running film and all that, but it's the basics of the fundamentals every day that I think, a lot of times as a business owner, we get enamored by tech, which I love, and I think it's a great enhancer, but use the fundamentals.
Yeah, you have to be doing the basic fundamental stuff. And with the voice recorder stuff now, your phone makes it so easy to record a voice memo or whatever to do that kind of stuff. I think that's a great point. So a couple of other things, like a lot of the tools that I use on the daily basis are mainly organizational type things, because, when you're building a business, when you're running an agency, when you're doing all this stuff, one, like time is always of the essence, and organization, right? Like not letting things slip through the crack, which that's really what the pen and paper is, right? I write these things down, so I know I have to get them done. Things don't slip through the crack. Voice messages, same type of thing. So a couple of other tools that I use on the daily. One is, I'm going to share my screen here and show this to you guys. I have gone through tons of different tools to try to keep track of bookmarks, because I always have a gazillion tabs open.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And things that I want to be able to easily get to without remembering, so we use LastPass as a password manager for a lot of things. So sometimes I can use that. But I've been using this for a little over a year now. I think there's a free version. The one that I have is a paid version, but this is a thing called Bookmark Ninja. And Bookmark Ninja actually makes a tab. So whenever I open a new tab, I get this bookmark screen. And so these are all the bookmarks. I mean, look at all that stuff, right? Now, I'm going to give you a couple little tips that I use. Again, I love to keep things very, very simple, not overcomplicate my life. So I do a couple things here that may help you. One is I love to give things fun names. I used to have things like, work links, work bookmarks, things like that. But I thought, why am I doing that? Like, I like to remind myself of stuff. So like this particular tab is called Tom's Amazing Life. So, and you'll see, like, I have things here. Instead of calling this bills, right, with links to all my bills, I call it investments in a good life, to just remind myself when I go here to pay the electric bill. I just like that little reminder that, hey, I'm paying that electric bill because it gives me a good life, not because it's like a bill that's chained around my neck, right? Like, I'm actually getting something of value and comfort from that bill. Because I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, I mean, paying the bills all the time can just start to feel like I can just get really ungrateful about it really, really fast and forget all the great things that come from paying those bills, right? So I like to do little tricks like this. So the other thing I do is I always have, like, whenever I have a system like this or something like this I'm using, and I'll show you this with Evernote as well. That's another thing I use a lot. I always have I always have this tab, like action and review later. And,
all right, like that.
Yep, you'll see it. So, like, a lot of times when we're having like a team huddle, or maybe we're talking to something, like somebody will be like, hey, you should go check this out. And instead of getting distracted at the time, or, if I move on and I forget, like, I can open up a tab and I can put things here. So things in the action tab are things that I want to look at right away. The review later are things that aren't like super urgent, right? Like, I can just put them over here and just kind of get to them whenever I want. And then for this, I have a couple of other things. I've got like my day-to-day links. Like, these are things I use on the daily. And then, I have things for like health and wellness. And then, of course, offline, things related to offline sharks, direct marketing. These are just specific topics that I have. And then there are other tabs that I can put out here as well. Like, this is all stuff for podcasts, like, because I've had a couple of podcasts. This is all my magic and poker stuff. So this just helps me keep these things kind of organized. And as I don't have to keep a gazillion tabs open, because I can just go to these. And, sometimes like this webinar link one's like, whenever I do a webinar, there are certain things I want to open during a webinar. That's where I put all those links, so that when the day comes to do the presentation, I don't have to go track everything down, right? Like, I can just click this and like, there's the links I need for that day. So when you're doing a lot of sales presentations, when you're doing a lot of client meetings, you want to have things like this as well. When I was doing a lot of prospecting, I had like a prospecting tab, and it had all the tools and stuff that I needed to prospect, like link to their, to the CRM and to the various tools that I use to evaluate stuff, so that I could just go, instead of having to open that stuff every day, I could just go to one spot and pull it up. So this is what I've been using lately. Do you have anything similar to this?
I use LastPass, which is kind of similar. I actually like this a lot. I use it all in Evernote, right? But I actually like this a lot because it's cleaner. So I have Evernote open as on one computer off to the side, or one of my windows, and I'm putting stuff in there. I'm putting all the link. I like how you have this as this dashboard. Very, very, very smart.
Yeah. So there was another one that I was using before that I really liked, and it was free. But once they got a lot of users, they went to a paid model, and it wasn't as good. The free version really was horrible. That's why I switched to this. But you mentioned Evernote. That's another thing that I use as well. So for those of you that don't know about Evernote, so this is Evernote, and it runs on your computer, on your iPad, and on your phone. And anything that you put in one place automatically syncs to all the other places. That's what I really like about it, because no matter what device I'm on, I know it's all going to the same spot. You'll see that, like, the way Evernote works, and there's free and there's paid. The way Evernote works is what they call notebooks. So here where we're using tabs, with this thing, I use tabs over here, but this uses notebooks. So you'll see that I have a couple of things here. So I can do notebooks on topics, but you'll also see I've got action, right? I don't think, here's waiting, training. And this is the same kind of thing, right? So things that I want to look at right away, I put here. Things that, aren't super urgent, I can put over here. And then I have just a lot of different stuff in here just for different things that here's an old notebook on SSL Sniper. That's a tool we put out a long time ago. Look at that, 2018.
Wow.
Oh, here's one from 2000. Look at this. 2013, I had a notebook called Better Looking Me. Now there's
you got to open that up.
I'm afraid to. I'm not going to do that live on camera.
Okay, well, let's ask the audience. You guys want to see that notebook? No, just joking.
Look here. So 2012. So this is 2012 is 3 years before, actually 4 years before Offline Sharks started.
Really? Okay.
I had not met Nick. I had not put out a single digital product. I was just trying to get my agency off the ground. And I did some coaching from Bruce Ruby, who's known as Bruce New Media. And so you can see those notes are from 2012. So been using this stuff for a while. Evernote, as you can see, and just lots of things in here. And so I really like Evernote as well. So I use both of these. I also use LastPass to manage passwords and things like that. So, yeah. Let's see.
So I was just looking through when you kind of mentioned, one of your old mentors, right? And you probably can't see it. I have it on my phone, but this is notes I took at a live meeting with Bill Glazer, right? So he had come into the GKAC offices.
Yeah.
And so, I still got those Evernote, right? I've got like 15 different notebooks from all the different, great people you get to meet with and take notes on it. I always have to say, listen, I'm not texting somebody, right? I am taking notes in my phone, right? So they don't think I'm a jerk in front of them. But I love Evernote.
Yeah. So those are two good ones. Let's talk about, so those are kind of some personal things. Now I'm interested to know, what type of tools do you guys use? What are you using to keep track of things and stuff? Let us know in the comments. Let people know as well. Let me know what your tools of choice are. And then we're going to talk a little more. We're going to talk now a little more specifically about agency tools, X-Tiles. Oh, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. What does X-Tiles do, Nye?
Yeah, I'll check it out. So I pulled up. So this is a spreadsheet that we give to Agency Evolution members, people in our hiring coaching program. So this is a sheet of all the tools that we use in the agency currently. Now, there's a couple of things. I brought this list up really to kind of point out mainly like the core tools, right? Like what are the core things? So we have this broken up by department, like sales, marketing, project management, fulfillment. But you'll actually see that there are a lot of the same tools in each area. So for instance, Zoom, Google Drive, Slack, Evernote, LastPass, like we use those on the sales side of things and we use them on the marketing side of things. So when it comes to tools that we're using in the agency, we're a big fan of tools that give us the ability to manage and control multiple things.
Yeah.
Right. So, Slack is a communication tool that you use for your team. And so like we're able to use Slack in all areas, from fulfillment to marketing to sales to all that stuff. So you guys, if you want, you can take a screenshot of this and see. We may have this. I don't know if we have a list of this somewhere, but anyway, the big ones that I would say, like if you're out there like, well, what do I need? Obviously Zoom, some type of software to have, remote interactions like this. Google Drive. We started off using Dropbox. We switched to Google Drive probably, I don't know, Cameron can probably tell you this better than I can, but a few years ago, we moved everything over to Google Drive. We have tried a lot of different stuff. Like when we originally, as the agency has grown, it's required us to use different tools and have better systems. You know, when we started, we had Dropbox, we were using Trello, we didn't have Slack. Like there was all kinds of things. So this is the stuff that has kind of evolved over the years. So Zoom, Google Drive, Calendly, Slack, Evernote, Asana, LastPass, Square. Those are, you know, big ones that we use. I'm trying to go through here and see. Like we use Aweber now for our email. Go High Level. That's something that's kind of a newer addition. And the reason I kind of point these out to you guys is because like I used to look at a list like this and think, oh my God, I need all those tools, right? But you do not need all these tools right off the bat, right? I want you to go back to what I said at the beginning about the pen and the notepad.
Right.
You have to start where you are and with taking action. And then you bring the tools in as you go. So, you know, it's you don't have to have Slack if it's just you and, you know, if it's just you right now. Like you start using Slack when you bring on one person, right? Those types of things. So the other thing I would say too is a mistake that we made very early on was going for yearly deals.
I'm the master at that, and then like never using it, only one
month.
Yeah, I am the
We're
master.
We're switching to a different software because we find something better.
Yeah, yep.
But when you're in the growing part, like it's just like anything, in your business. You know, we talk a lot about this when we talk about starting an agency and when we're starting, because a lot of times entrepreneurs wrestle with the same fundamental problems that keep them from moving forward. What should my name be? That's a big one, right? Like people can spend years not taking action because they just can't ever decide on a name.
Yep.
You know, well, what CRM like you want to be using the best of everything. And so you look for people that are doing super high volume and what are they using? But the problem is like they're doing super high volume. Like you don't necessarily need the same tools they do because you're not doing that kind of volume. So what's best for them is not necessarily the best for you. And that can be a little hard to determine when you're first starting out. So a lot of times with the software, I think it's just whatever you're comfortable with using and that you will regularly use, that's what you should use. Sure. It's not a lifetime decision. You are not locked in. You can switch anytime you want. We have switched, you know, contact management systems and all. We've changed every piece of software in our business multiple times. You're not stuck with it for life. When you find something better or your needs change, you're going to have to change it anyway. So, and sometimes things happen to the tools, right? Sometimes things happen to the tools and you're like, well, I thought I was going to be using this forever and you're not. So it's not a lifetime decision. Just get something that's in your budget that you're going to use, that you can use, and work with that, right? Yep. And then build your way up. Yep. And the second thing I was going to say about that is don't do the lifetime deal. Like just go ahead and pay monthly, and especially when you're growing, because you might be changing anyway. And we've made that mistake a lot, just buying and like, well, you know, you get 4 months for free. We might as well. And then 2 months later, we go to a different tool. So what was the point anyway?
My favorite is when you buy the 1 year, you forget about it, and then it automatically renews. And you're like, oh, crud, now I got to get myself out of that too. So absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
It happens. I mean, hey, look, we sell software. Like we sell software that renews every year because there's updates and things like that. I'll tell you this too. If you have our software and you're not using it, like you want to take a look at that, right?
Right.
The point is to be, you want to be paying for things that you're using. So, you know, if you have something of ours and you're not using it, get to using it.
Yep.
Use that thing. Like you're paying for it, right? Get it going, get it out there and up.
On paying, can I just and we'll go into the next session, but
Yeah.
look at your credit cards too, because some credit cards give you deals on certain software. So an example would be American Express gives you a deal of, you get like 20% off for the first year on DocuSign. And I see DocuSigns in here, and DocuSigns are great things to send contracts back and forth. And so, the Chase cards, the Chase, especially the ones that are geared for small businesses, if you go into the rewards section or their deal section, they have great deals on software because, everybody, wants a deal. And so look to save 20% or 30% either on the monthly or the yearly. But look at that, because I just went through a lot of the things that we use for my agency, and got them all on change the credit cards to get the promotional savings.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You reminded me of another thing that Nick and I do. Who out there is on a Mac? Who out there is in the present time and using a Mac? So there is a thing that you can get called SetApp. Are you familiar with this, Nick?
No.
So SetApp, let me see if I can pull this up. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm going to show you this over here. Let me go to this. Hold on, where to go? Maybe later. I haven't opened this in a while. So let me share my screen.
Okay.
So you pay I'm pretty sure it's like a monthly fee for SetApp. It's been we signed up for this a long time ago, so I don't exactly remember. But like, you pay a monthly fee to SetApp, and they go out and work deals with all these various Mac applications and provide them for free inside SetApp. So you can go and be like I can see, well, what are the ones that I have on this Mac? So these are all things that normally you would have to buy individually. And I just pay SetApp, and then I can access all of these. So Clean My Mac, which is like
it's a great program. I love it.
This pays for SetApp.
SetApp.
I can't think of that. SetApp.
Yeah.
For me, because I was paying for this anyway. Like I had a license of this and was using it. Now I just use it through SetApp. This Clean Shot X, I use this. I should have mentioned this earlier. I use this all the time. This is a screen capture. Like, you can easily capture a screen and edit. Like, I'll show you this little kind of bent up piece of paper here. If I click this, you can see I've got capture area, scrolling capture, all these different things. So I can go here. I can capture this area. Now I can go and click. This is the image. I can edit it. So like right now I've got a tool selected, so I can do that. I can blur these out. Like I can draw lines. I can put boxes around stuff or circles. Like this is just, it's really super easy to use. Very, very intuitive. And then I can save these images and do whatever I want with them, or I can just not save them. So I use this Clean Shot on all kinds of stuff, to send messages to the team or things I'm seeing. Or
yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's really good. Let's see what else is on here. So this is a thing that modifies your trackpad. This is a mind map software. This Ulysses is a writing app. This is a time tracker that I use. This thing, Session, is like helps you work in focus sessions. This is a download thing that allows you to download YouTube videos, which you can't normally download. This is like a thing that lets you customize your bar. This is something that I downloaded and I thought I'm going to use this all the time, and I've never used it. But this Workspaces is kind of similar to Bookmark Ninja in that you create a workspace, and then you can open up all the windows you need for that task. And then whenever you go to Workspace, you can just click a button and it will pull all those tabs up for you to work on that thing. So like, let's say that you do SEO. Let's say you want to do SEO reporting. So like you could create a workspace that has all of the software. And it's not just tabs, it's like the software on your computer. So you could say like, look, whenever I do this work, I need this application, I need this window opened, I need that. You make a workspace out of that. And then with one click, it opens all that up for you when you go to do that task. Like opens up all the software and all that stuff. So, but this is what's really great is those are just the ones that I download, but they have millions of things. So if you want to like bookmarks, you just search, and these are all of the different apps that you get for free as a SetApp member.
Wow.
And then there's like collections. So you can go here, like here's a starter kit, all the ones that they consider to be the best. I haven't looked at this in a while. This is a great way to find new stuff. Here's an AI toolkit. Again, all things that you get, digital security, designer, developers, like look at all that stuff. I mean, and there are some really, really, really great apps on here. So SetApp, another one. If you're using a Mac, you might want to check it out. And I think that it is, let me take a look because I haven't looked at this in a long time.
Another one that is good is AppSumo, right? Do you ever look at that as a marketplace for very inexpensive? Always check there first too.
Yeah, there's usually a lot of good software launching there.
Yeah,
things like that. Yeah, you can get SetApp for one Mac for like $10 a month.
Oh my gosh!
So,
like you said, it pays for like 3 apps. Within a second.
Well, you just use one. Even clean my Mac.
It's like $39. I think I just upgraded it, and I have 2 or 3 Macs in my office.
Yeah.
Do you ever use Go Full Page? Because I think that one that you had was very similar to that. That's another app, especially when I see like landing pages that I want or sales pages. Go Full Page will take a copy of everything and then make it a PDF for you.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to take this question by Roger. Sure. Roger said, what's a good tool for lead generation for clients? So, Roger, here again, the answer depends on what you're trying to do and what type of lead generation are you looking to set up. I'm going to give you 2 examples of the extremes. Okay. One is you don't really need any tools to do lead generation. We have a full-time sales rep at Mina Marketing. Her name is Megan. She, when she came to us, she had no idea what a lead generation tool even was. Like she's a professional sales rep. So as she went around Honolulu, she just looked for businesses that she thought would be good to work with. And she emailed them and she called them and she would just pop in and say hello. Like there are no tool. She has generated a lot of money for our agency and she was not aware of any of that. Now, as she's worked for us, we've been able to show her and give her some tools like, hey, here's a way to build some leads. And now we can generate inbound leads and send them to her. So, Google can be an awesome lead generation.
Google, Yelp.
Google, Yelp.
We used to scrape Yelp, right? Google, especially Groupon. You could look at Groupon to see who's advertising or running deals, right? There's a lot of stealth ways to do lead generation, especially for, a localized agency, a local agency.
I always say, pay attention to who's spending money in your area.
Yeah. Advertisers advertise.
Anybody who's spending money on advertising is good. Now, we use Google a lot to identify, the clients and things like that. But I don't know if that's exactly what you're asking, right? And so maybe you're talking about like, well, how can I generate how do you want to generate those leads? Do you want to be involved? Do you not want to be involved? So on the training that Jason did on Wednesday, he was showing he has a AI software tool that will go out and find the leads He also uses Groupon. Like he's able to target because of what he's selling. He's able to target any business that's advertising on Groupon. I know when we were testing out doing lead generation at the agency, I would always use Angie's List and Home Advisor.
Yep.
Like I would look for people that were paying them, try to find out if they were paying those places, and then go to offer them a better custom package. But, you saw Chris Byrne, who used a system we created called Clockwork Clients. And that is what I call a passive prospecting system, meaning that it generates leads to your calendar without you doing any direct input. Now, the fastest way to do that is to pay for the traffic. Like, I'm just going to be upfront with you. There's a trade-off, right? There's a trade-off when we're talking about lead generation and prospecting. There's time and money. So if you don't have a lot of money, then the methods that you're going to need to use to generate leads and get clients are probably going to be more time intensive to you because you don't really have any money, right? So like you're using free things like Google, which means that you've got to do a little more digging. Like you can't just Google businesses. Like you got to look and say, well, what are their problems? What are the things they're doing? So that takes a little bit of time on your part. Whereas if you can spend a little money, you can target specific business types, send them to a funnel, let the funnel do all the heavy work of, changing, doing all that stuff. We have another system called Reach, which we use cold email. So we build a list of businesses with their email addresses, and then we load those into Reach, and then Reach goes in and does all that stuff. Now, here's the thing about those systems. Those things, we had to build those things out. They did not exist, right? Because here's the limit of tools. Again, think about a sales funnel. And every marketer in the world thinks that a sales funnel is easy. If you ask them, what do you know about funnels? They'll be like, yeah. Most of the time, they'll probably say, yeah, you're just one funnel away, right? Russell made that. You're just one funnel away from success.
Making billions.
Yeah, but think about the tool. Like, so there's funnel building tools like ClickFunnels and Go High Level. Those tools are awesome. They give the appearance of being able to easily do something that was once very, very complicated.
Sure.
And to some extent, they do make it easier in that they make the technical part of setting up the pages easier. But there's still an entire process and a whole nother level that has to be applied to make a funnel successful. That's why not very many people have those things on the wall, right? Because you only get those when the funnel works. Like you couldn't just go into ClickFunnels and be like, oh, I'll just set up a funnel and expect to get one of those. Like you have to have a great message. The copy has to be good on the page. You have to be able to drive traffic. You have to be able to convert that traffic at a high margin. You've got to be able to collect that revenue, right? So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. When you're talking about an agency, same thing. You got to be able to not only catch the attention of the leads you want, but when they land on your page, it needs to pre-qualify them, walk them through, get them to book. Once they book, it needs to make sure they show up. Once they show up, you have to be able to close them and turn them into a client. So there's a lot of, like, it sounds great. Like, yeah, I just build a funnel and all my answers and all my problems are solved, but that's not the case. Like there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. And you can only figure that stuff out really by doing it, testing, and doing different things. Lucky for all of you, we do that. Like we do that at Mina Marketing. And so when we test all that stuff and find something that works, we bring it to you, right? So I know the same thing with our training we did on Wednesday. Jason showed a set and forget system. It's all built out, right? He's using tools like High Level and some other tools that he's combined into a system that you can just set up one time and then forget about it. And it does all of the stuff in the background. Those types of things are hard to come by because those are normally created by people that are doing. And when people are doing it, more than likely, they're not selling it, right? Like Nick and I have always been a little different because we figure there's enough business for everybody. And so, and we want to share, right? Like we were struggling when we got started. There wasn't really anybody that we could turn to help us. So like we want to be there to help people. So, if we weren't that way, we would probably keep all of the stuff that we're developing at Mina Marketing pretty close to the vest. A lot of agencies do. They don't share that stuff because it takes a lot of hard work, money, and time to figure all that stuff out. You don't just want to give it away, Most people don't anyway. We have different values. One of our values is to share and help people that are trying to come up and all that stuff. So we don't worry too much about that. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that question is really hard. I know it's probably not the answer you're looking for. You probably just wanted me to say, yeah, go high level and all your problems will be solved. No, go high level is just a tool, but it depends again on the actions you take and how you use that tool.
Sure.
That's kind of a long rant, Nick.
Well, you did fine with it. I mean, I think one of the tools, especially if you're piecing tools together, Zapier is something to look at, right? If you got a bunch of different tools that need to talk to each other. And maybe if we didn't answer Rogers as deep as he wanted to, he could kind of reach out to us or put another post in there. But, there's the key is there's so many tools. I think this segment is good because these are tools that we use every day, right? And kind of vet, because it's easy to run out there, go on AppSumo, go on one of these marketplaces and just start buying a bunch of stuff. Some of the ones that I like, we do a lot of, for my agency, we do a lot of LinkedIn outreach. So we use Meet Alfred, right? That automates a lot of that.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful, right? Just make sure you warm it up and just don't start doing it because it will shut down your LinkedIn. But that's a good one to use, especially if you're selling in a more, in a marketplace where a lot of your target audience is on LinkedIn. So that does a lot of really good things for us. Another one that we were talking about that was kind of simple, if you're using Google, which you should be every day. I love Google Trends and Google Insights, right? So I think there's a lot of information that you could get and research that, that they do. If you look at the entire Google marketplace, you could just learn a lot of really, really good stuff. Obviously, as a business owner, I think you should be on LinkedIn. I think they're you have to be there, right? So got that for the set and forget. I love that name. I think, there's a lot of AI tools, right? So there's an AI for that. If you're ever trying to figure out what are the different AI tools for everything, I would focus on that one.
There's an AI for that. That's the name of it.
Yeah, if there's an AI for that, that will show you all the different AI systems that are available out there.
That's awesome because this kind of ties into Jimmy's question here, which is what are the best tools for generating inbound leads?
Gotcha.
And yeah, I mean, again, you were talking about Meet Alfred. Right? Hold on one second. I gotta let my dog in.
I'll chat while you're doing that. So yeah, Meet Alfred. We use another one where we can kind of look at the data if we're buying list or kind of clean up list is Clay. Did the dog come in or did the dog need to leave?
He needed to come in.
I got you.
She shut my office door and then left him out there. He didn't like it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Meet Alfred. Well, and Jimmy, look, we generate inbound leads with SEO.
Right.
That's not a tool, right? There's a lot of tools that help us do that, but SEO is a strategy. When I think about inbound leads are really based on a strategy to generate them, right? So, I mean, what are the ways you can generate inbound leads? Well, you can do it through organic search marketing by showing up high in Google. And then when people search something like, say, Hawaii SEO or Maui SEO, your business is the top result. And so you get a lead that way. We get a ton of leads that way. You can do things like pay for traffic like we do that's one of the ways we do on Clockwork Clients. Now, it's not the only way. If you have a funnel set up that will walk people into how to book on your calendar, then you can basically post that link anywhere. You can make social media posts about it. You can post it in groups, whatever, and you get somebody there, then they go through the funnel and they book. But that's an inbound lead system, right? Cold email can generate inbound leads if you do it right. You can generate inbound leads with direct mail. When I was first starting, I did a lot of direct mail. It was just a printed out letter on an 8.5 sheet by 11. I hand wrote all the envelopes. I used to get a lot of inbound leads that way. Usually to get an inbound lead though, there has to be some activity that starts that. Like think about the ultimate inbound lead. What's the ultimate inbound lead? A referral, right?
Sure.
A referral is the ultimate inbound lead. But what is the action that starts that? Well, somebody tells somebody you should use this person. So there always has to be an action that starts the inbound lead. They don't just come out of nowhere. You know, you have to either be putting a message or something in front of somebody that drives them to take that action of reaching out to you, so that something has to happen before that inbound lead comes in. I don't know of any way to just be like, I want inbound leads, and they just start showing up. Like you got to do something to get them, right?
Well, if we had it, we wouldn't be giving it away on free. But yeah. We used to say all the time, outbound leads to inbound. You want inbound leads, you got to do outbound stuff, right? You talked about direct mail.
That's great. Outbound leads to inbound.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen unless you are a brand that people are searching for, unless you're a Mac. But you got to do the outbound to get that, right? And some of it, if you don't have the cash, it's beginning, you got to grind it out, right? You got to make the calls. You got, when I first started my agency, my goal every day was 25 introductory packets, right? So I would do a little bit like a lumpy mail packet, 25 of those a day, right? And I knew then the next day I had a call, from 3 days prior. So it was like my outbound system. And I had the kids, we'd have Friday night movie night, and we'd have postcards, right? And they would have to, we'd go down the line, right? Label the postcards with Avery one-up labels. If you remember those, you put a label on the postcard and then a stamp, right? And that was Friday night. And they got paid a commission if one of the postcards came in that they put the sticker on. And so we just did that, and we would, that led to outbound. And that's some of the old school ways are the best ways to do it. And that's one of the ways that we grew our agency. And another thing that you're talking about is you got to look for people that advertise. I think that's something that we forget and we don't talk enough about. The best advertise, right? So they're always looking for other sources to do it better. And that's a great way for us as marketing agencies to talk to them. We used to pour over all the magazines that would come, or the Chicago magazines that would come, or the designer magazines that would come, and look through all the people that were advertising in there, because we knew that they had a big budget, and that would allow us to at least have a conversation with them about what we could do for them on a digital aspect of things.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a great point you brought up, the person that's already advertising, because the thing you don't want to happen is you're like, oh, that business looks like a great contact, and then you call them and now you have to sell them on advertising. Like, it's just, why put that step in there? Like, they're spending money on some other type of advertising, they are more likely to spend some money with you, because a lot of times you can approach them in a way that's like, hey, I saw that you're advertising in this magazine. Like, how's that working out? And usually it's not. Like, they're
not getting any calls. They got sold by a really good media salesperson, and nobody's calling, and they're pissed. And so, or you take your digital and look for billboards, or like you're the salesperson, right? Just look into businesses and stop by and see that they're advertising, and put them in your follow-up sequence, whether that's a legal pad that you're writing them down, or an Excel spreadsheet. And as you get better, it's a CRM system, but you just got to keep on grinding it out. So,
yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking for a system, if you want to see something that's a combination of old school and new school, I would encourage you, if you haven't, to go watch the replay of the training that Jason did on Wednesday. So you can see it at offlinesharks.com/set and forget. Jason really, he's doing some old school stuff, but he's doing it in a very modern way using AI and a collection of great tools that pretty much automates the whole process, allows you to just set it up and forget about it, and it just kind of runs in the background. It does that. It does the outbound part that generates the inbound, plus it handles all of the fulfillment. It's really an amazing system. You should check it out. So you can do that at offlinesharks.com/set and forget. I hope you guys got some value out of this. I hope you picked up some tools, some things you can use. You can look through the comments and see the different things that people mentioned. I do want to give away some Cash App money before we sign off today. So if you can do me a favor.
We have one question. Did you see what's Tom reading?
Oh, so I'm still reading. So I started this last week. I'm still reading this book by Stephen R. Covey.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Speed of Trust. Yeah.
Speed of Trust. So I don't have a new one yet. So I'm not that fast of a reader, people. Not that fast of a reader.
In the summertime, I take off business books. I've just been reading mysteries. I turned my dad on to the guy that you like that's the ex-Navy SEAL.
The Terminal
List.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good.
Yeah. So I've just been reading no business books. I start September after Labor Day. We'll be back on the business book list.
Yeah, I've been, I read fiction at night before I go to bed.
Do you?
And so, I just picked up a book. It just came yesterday, and I'm anxious to read it. It's called The Last Policeman.
Okay.
Heard of this? And this is really an intriguing idea for a story. There is an asteroid that is headed towards the Earth. It is going to impact in 6 months. So there will be no more world after 6 months. The world is going to end. Everyone knows the world is going to end in 6 months.
Oh, my gracious.
NASA has come out and said, this is it. We've got 6 months and we're out of here. And then there's a murder. And this guy decides to solve the murder. But why? Why solve the murder when everything's going to end? I haven't started reading it yet, but that idea just really intrigued me. What would we be doing? What would your motivation be to do things if that's what was going to happen? And everybody knew that's what was going to happen. And what would happen to the world when everybody knows, this is it. We've only got 6 months. I thought that was really, really.
I got to get that. That scares me.
The reviews on it are good, so we'll see.
Well, E.G. Buzz asks, "Who's your favorite author, Nick?" For mysteries, I like if you haven't read any of them, the Spencer is phenomenal. So go get them. And let's
which one?
Spencer, Robert Parker's the Spencer series.
Oh, is that Everything Dead and the serial killer?
No. So Robert Parker, look him up on that. He writes a great series, which is the Spencer series. You got to get the old ones because the new ones I hate when the other people are writing them. So I love that. So get that.
Robert Parker, the Spencer series.
Yeah, Spencer series is phenomenal. So always start with that one. And I'm also plowing through Slough House. So if you watch the Apple series of Slough House or Slow Horses, there's about 7 books in that series, and I'm working through that. And I also pass it around with my family. We read The Women this summer, which is a great book. It's on Bill Gates's book list. And I read a couple Aaron Hillenbrand books just to keep up with my daughter and wife at the lake house. But
important to do that.
Right.
Awesome. We're going to do some Cash App money. So if you type in #SetAndForget, and don't forget to set and forget the link to go watch the training if you haven't, but type that in. And while you're doing that, I am going to play my favorite song of Friday.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
All right, we're going to draw for our first winner. The first winner of a $25 Cash App gift card is Nye. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh.
Congratulations. All right, let's do another one. I'm going to put that back. We'll draw again. Our next winner is Dorn. Oh, Megalodon Dorn. Dorn up. I think Cameron, the fix is in. Dorn,
the fix is in. He did something.
We're in trouble now. He figured it out.
Yep.
Well, awesome stuff. Congratulations, guys. Again, check out the training, offlinesharks.com, set and forget. We're only going to have that up for, I think, today or tomorrow at the latest. So take some time, go check it out. Stay safe out there. If you're a football fan, enjoy the start of the football season. I will see you back here next Friday, same shark time, same shark channel. I'm not sure if Nick will be with me or not, but Nick, I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. And
oh yeah, it's a joy.
Book read. We could do a whole show just on books
And football.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a nut. Like, if I panned this camera around, you guys would be in horror. Like, just the books that are just stacked everywhere. Like,
all the different stacks. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, look, thanks everybody. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week. Aloha.
Happy Friday.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam session. We've helped thousands just like you start and scale their businesses. If you'd like our help to grow your business, go to the link on your screen now and let us know how we can help you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.